Over the past 10 years, I have helped thousands of renters become homeowners. Every guest brings their own unique story, but they all have reached the same ultimate outcome: freedom for themselves and their families. My podcast is here to educate and show you that becoming a homeowner is possible with the right help.
If you don't have that knowledge, you won't grow. You won't know. Like, look at us now. It's all for our kids. Like, it's building that future that we didn't have to set up our kids. We're forever grateful for the platform and the knowledge that you have.
I'm Darren Walters, and welcome to the Keys to Freedom podcast. Welcome to the #1 Property Guide podcast. Real people, massive results. I'm here with Iteh and her beautiful daughter, sitting there so nice and politely. Just talking about the journey from 2018, getting into the property market, bought a property for $412,000. Today, the desktop valuation coming at $700,000. Now owning two properties, or the second one's nearly to be finished. $1.4 million worth of property from $1,000 deposit. Over $400,000 equity now in both properties, and the third property on its way. What was that like getting approved?
It was like a massive weight off our shoulders, and yeah, crazy.
I've got a client coming through, and her name's Belinda, up in Mackay.
Yeah.
And she'll see this. Hi, Belinda. And
Hi, Belinda.
she messaged me just yesterday, and her approval's due. It was probably semi-due at the end of this week, but highly likely will be next week.
Yeah.
And she goes, is there something wrong? Has something happened? Yeah. And I bet you felt that at some stage?
Yeah, at some stage. Like not everything goes to plan. Big example is Townsville. Their weather's totally different to ours.
Yes.
So the building time, that's why I asked what's taking so long. And they go through a wet season. Yeah, I've never been to Townsville. So you don't even need to be in the area that you're investing. That's another thing. Yeah.
Don't get emotionally attached.
Yeah.
That's the key part.
Yeah.
And so I just said to Belinda, I said, everything's okay, because my system is so precise. Once I calculate your borrowing capacity, and I know that you fit one of my lending policies, subject to valuation, 99.9%, you're going to be approved. I do all the hard work up front. Yeah. And that's as simple as it gets. Yeah. Going back to Townsville, it's a lifestyle place, but it's now becoming where a lot of people are going to move to for affordability. Yeah. But the hardest thing prior to even the last 5 years, if the sun's out and the fish is running or the surf's up, they finish work at 2.
Crazy.
We're here. Yeah. Our builders work dark till dark, if you know what I mean. We can build a house here, and as you know, in 4 to 5 months. Yeah. Yeah. Up there's a lot longer. Yeah. Yeah. But it's what was affordable. Yeah. It's within the year you've come up, 120, 130, 140,000.
What's another week another week or two gonna do?
For that little bit it's costing you, your growth or your wealth has grown heaps. Yeah. Take me back to your situation prior to building your first home. What was renting like?
You work to pay for someone else's mortgage. Yeah. And it wasn't so much me because I was still in school, but seeing your mum and your dad get up early to just go and make that paper to pay for the house that we're at.
Paying someone's mortgage. Yeah. While they got the capital growth.
Pretty much.
So you understand you've come up over 400,000 in 5 years. Yeah. You can imagine what your family lost. Yeah. Over the decades. Yeah. Yeah. And I say it all the time, and it's the rich get richer and the renters get poorer. Yeah, yeah. And it's facts. While you're paying off someone else's mortgage, you're reducing it.
Pretty much.
They're getting the capital growth. Yeah. And just like yourself, you'll be on your third property soon, thanks to someone renting your property while you pay off your own mortgage. Yeah. And you get the capital growth. Yeah. If the market comes up 10%, a little bit of a soft market now, but it's going to come back up. It's going to go again. Yeah. 10% of 1.4 million is 140,000. You come up 20%, it's 280,000.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
So it's just time. Yeah. Time in the market. Yeah. Did your parents own property?
No. No. Renting was it like that's that's all they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not knowing.
What part of New Zealand?
Wellington.
Wellington.
Yeah. Mm.
You know, and what you know now is if they got into the property market 40 years ago,
Yeah.
what's that worth today?
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
And that would have then helped, able to break the cycle
Yep.
then. 40 years or 4 decades of property growth, you've seen what's been achieved in 5 to 6 years.
Mm.
You know, I think back to that. My parents don't own a home. They did.
Mm.
They lost it.
Yeah.
But you just think back and it's just like, you know, some of those properties were 30, 40,000 back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And uneducatedly stayed renting.
Mm.
What made you move from New Zealand to Australia?
Funny that mum came for a holiday to her sister-in-law, and then she's seen the different lifestyle here and the work. Obviously work and money was much easier here that you could get. So we were waiting for her to come back home, and then she was like, "No, move over. I'm staying now." So
I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I'm not coming back. Got a
wow.
job. Yeah. Obviously she's seen like the different rates and things like that with work. So she made us move. And then we moved, and totally different. Rent is different. Like
The whole cost of living was different back then, eh?
Yeah.
Yes, it has gone up.
Yeah.
But so has wages.
Yeah.
You know, compared to New Zealand.
Mm.
What was your income back in NZ?
NZ, I was only in school then, so
Yeah, wow.
Still young. I was in high school, just finishing up here. I did my high school here, so yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are today?
32.
32 with 2 properties.
Yeah.
From NZ.
Yeah.
Uneducated. And you're third on the way.
Yeah. It's all about the knowing.
It's educational.
Yeah.
Do I stay renting, or do we build the home? And you built it twice.
Yeah.
And educating is a key part, because if we've educated you all the way through, by the time we get to the end, there's no more questions.
Yeah.
You know, I watch the relief on a lot of our clients' faces once they get to the end, because they understand the facts.
Yeah.
Nothing's hidden.
No.
Nothing's ever been not disclosed.
Yeah.
We'll prefer you to know everything.
Yeah.
So you can make an informed decision.
Yeah.
Had you ever been to a bank or a broker prior to coming to me?
Yes. We did go through, I believe it was Westpac, Bank of Queensland. We went to a couple, and it was literally like, no, we can't help you. Like, it's, you need this amount of deposit, which was not in our bank account, and for us to help you, that's how much you need. So we didn't have it, so we just walked back out and
Got back on the treadmill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Treadmill.
Yeah, and then just look around, and then Facebook, number one came on Facebook, and that's how we got in contact with you guys. Yeah, and then you guys showed us, obviously, this is what you need, and get it back to us, and then we can obviously look at what options you have. Yeah, we didn't get that at the banks. It was just, you don't have this, so we can't help you. Yeah.
Well, there's no assessment.
No.
And it's crazy, because I look at the banks and they could help a lot more people if they used common sense, which isn't so common.
Yeah.
Logic, which isn't ever logic.
Yeah.
Where it's about, look at how much you can borrow because of your income, and then how do we structure you?
Yeah. Also, a lot of people, when they get the no, we can't help you, they stop there, and then they don't look around, and they think, oh, if they said no, who else would say yes?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's semi-educated without being educated. If the bank says no, no one can help you.
Yeah.
And we get that all the time, where people are like, must be high interest rates. So my question to you is, was your interest rate super high?
No.
It was
2.9.
2.9 to start with.
Yeah.
The good days.
Yeah, I was like, bring that back. Yeah, no, great. It was 2.9. To think back, that was nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Mm.
And, over the decade, the average rate, I would believe, would be around the 4.5,
Yeah.
5%.
Yeah.
It's not far off today. So
Mm.
once we get some rate cuts, we're going to be back to where it will sit for a
Yeah.
long time, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
But there's that perception of, it must be high rates. Oh, you'll
Mm.
be paying an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's the same rates. If you walked in with a deposit, if your neighbour next to you back in 2018 had a $20,000 deposit, you still got approved for the same type of house.
The same, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember back then how much money you had to put into the first house?
Yeah. Nothing.
I think I helped you out with $12,000.
Pretty much, yeah.
You paid your $1,000 to secure the property.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have paid your legals.
Yeah.
So you would have paid $1,000 in legals.
Yeah. But nothing up front.
Nothing.
There was nothing. Thousands, nothing too. Like,
wow.
I came to you with my debt.
Yes.
And you helped me out. Like, that's, like, forever grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, you're up $288,000 by saying yes and putting in $1,000.
Yeah.
That was common back then.
Yeah.
That was our system.
Yeah.
And that was our system based on land and house packaging prices, based on the interest rates back then. And I wish more people had said yes. We helped hundreds.
Yeah.
But there was people who had that negative, uneducated mindset.
Yeah.
And when I was going through my computer looking at your profile, it was...
I didn't even know that you could like help with the debt. Like, it was just crazy. And just thank you. Yeah.
It's a good system. We can remove the debt.
Yeah.
We can debt console all loans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reduce all the payments.
Yeah.
It's a system where, a lot of people look at it and go, what do you actually do, Darren? And it's all I do is I look at your position and I work out how we solutionize the problem to owning a home.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And people say to me, hey, what's the biggest thing of advice? And you've just got to stop caring what other people think. So relating that to where you guys have been with property, when you first got into the property, or when you first got approved, did you have a lot of people trying to give you advice?
Pretty much. We had a lot of, I'll say, like, negative as well as positive, like because of what they hear. Like, are you sure it's legit? Like, things like that. But it's the not knowing. As I always say, if you don't have that knowledge, you won't grow. You won't know. Like, look at us now. Like,
what's that? So 1.4 million worth of property.
Yeah, that's
in 5 odd years.
Yeah, and just the Townsville alone, just rented. Like, it's still in progress of renting. Like, we've got our tenants, but obviously paperwork to do, and already like the value's gone up just from the building. Yeah.
Your land's come up over 100,000.
Yeah.
So, you're about 130 plus thousand and you haven't even completed it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Where do you save that?
Just, you just got to keep going, I guess. Yeah.
So what's the most you've ever saved?
The most we've ever saved? Probably like 17K.
Yeah.
And that's gone already. Like,
yeah.
Only to look at property now, like, our value's gone up. So I never knew we would be where we are now without that knowledge. So it's always thanks to you. Yeah.
And it's, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are still sitting there that never said yes.
Yeah.
They said no.
Yeah.
Because it's a scam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's too good to be true. And, you paid $412,000 for your property.
Yeah.
Should have bought 2.
I know.
That's minimum. Like, the valuation today is a desktop valuation is $700,000. For me to replace it at $750.
Yeah.
To build you a brand new house.
Yeah.
Well, that's minimum. To build that size lot, to have that size lot, that size build would be $800,000.
Yeah.
So on paper you've come up $288,000, but to replace it, you're probably closer to $400,000.
Crazy.
And, the second step is you got an investment property up in Townsville.
Yep.
Haven't completed building it.
No.
And you're up over $130,000. What does your family think?
how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just pass that knowledge on, and then it's up to them if they want to join us or just sit along the sidelines. But
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Smile and wave.
Yeah, pretty much. But for it, a grateful way. Just grateful for the platform that you have, and then Facebook.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Facebook has built my business from one follower.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I think we're over 42,000 followers.
Yeah.
Hundreds of 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
But it gives us, and like you say, the platform, it allows us to showcase people like yourself who believe in the system now, been through the system, been through it twice.
Yeah.
You know, and from renting for 6 years. And one thing I love about that, Iteh, is you only rented for 6 years. We've got people who've rented for 30 plus years. And only having to rent for 6 years, you'll never look back now. You're 2 properties in.
Yeah.
Third one on the horizon.
Yeah.
And take your hat off. What you're doing for you, your kids, and the future grandkids is something most people don't get to do.
No.
Your current home, you paid $412,000 late 2018.
Yeah.
When you first bought it, or when we first built it, did you ever picture yourself being in today's position?
No. Just it was all overwhelming at that time, and then knowing that you've got the facts and you know how to get there, it only made us more hungry to go again. Yeah, so.
And that's when you reached out?
Yeah, pretty much.
The journey itself, how did you find it?
Pretty straightforward. Like it was so easy. It was just obviously the not knowing, but paperwork obviously takes a while, but the building was just so quick, so fast. Every question that I had was always answered. Just in the checking in. So after when we got the first property, it wasn't like you kind of just left us.
Yeah.
It was the checking in, and that's the big factor.
Yeah.
And that made us want to go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, with number one property. So
the trust is built.
Yeah.
And I pride myself on that. And I'm creating a whole digital system because, as you can imagine now, we're well over 1,000 clients or homes. And it just ends up being a small dream that I started in my lounge.
Yeah.
To now we're sitting in one of Gold Coast's most iconic buildings, right on the waterfront. To going, how do we scale and grow but still give the service and the service of what you just said of being in touch, not just being a number.
No.
And it's hard, like, and I'll be honest, it's hard staying in contact with everyone, but we try our best. We hope that we've built enough relationships where if you do need to ask more questions, you text me. I'm that person who responds whether it's 10 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning. And you know, I get a lot of people ask me, why do you do that? And I'm just like, I love what I do. You know, and I always say, when you love what you do, it's never about work. Like, you don't think it's work. It's just, you know, can I help more? So,
and that was the other thing. Like, obviously, you have this like hierarchy. Like, you're up there, and we would think you would never speak to that person, like, because you're so up there, you've got people that can answer for you, and you were like 24/7 available, like on Messenger, like you'll respond and things like that. So that builds a relationship, and that makes us want to go again. And
that's key. I you know, when I say I love what I do, I love what I do. I work. Well, my fiance will sit there and say I don't stop. You know. Family time. Crucial for me. Like, it's when I've got my kids, I'll still respond. But I just make sure work doesn't interfere. And I want to be present when they're there. And it doesn't mean I can't respond to clients. I just watch how I respond. If you know what I mean. If I'm at soccer and it's halftime, I'll respond. If I'm out at sports, there's a time and a place. As long as they don't really see it and I'm present for them. That's what,
that balance.
That's that fatherhood done. But outside that, when they go to bed, I normally will lay on my phone for an hour or two. Catch up on emails, send my to-do list on every email and stuff like that. So I've got a form here, and your Townsville investment property, you paid $160,000 for the land. Not long ago. Have a look at the pink line. That's proof that the same size lot just sold for 100,000 more
Yeah, right.
and going up daily.
Yeah, crazy. It was only last year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It was only
yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And without even doing anything, you've saved or you've got equity of over 100,000 just on the land by securing it.
Crazy.
And that's without completing your build. So
Yeah.
we're still in the build process.
Yeah, we're nearly done. Yeah,
pretty
much, yeah.
That's just the power of getting into property.
Yeah.
You know, you hear about all this type of get rich quick property. That's good for some.
Yeah.
But not for all.
No.
Big risk comes with big loss.
Yeah.
What I try to educate is building wealth or building property to your situation.
Yeah.
And just doing it so it's affordable and long term.
Yeah.
But congratulations, that's 100,000 by just
thank you.
locking it
Yeah.
and getting it started.
And that's all obviously with you guys, number one, just getting us in the first place.
It is a lot to do with us, but you've got to take your hat off to yourself and your partner, Wendell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said yes. You've taken the time to do the paperwork. The paperwork's not, I wouldn't say it's hard, it's time consuming.
Yeah, that's right.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's say it took you an hour, 2 hours of paperwork to buy a home.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Definitely. Like,
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I say to people, you've got to make sacrifice. And I always say to clients coming through my system, just get it done.
Yeah.
Do what it takes to get that step completed.
Yeah.
Let's do step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
Because once we get to over here, you'll get to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
And it's, it's like anything. You're building wealth, right? You've built over $400,000 since you said yes back in the end of 2018.
Yeah.
For the little time that you put into it, your reward's been huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've got clients who said no back then.
Yeah.
That could have said yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 412,000 purchase price, that's long gone.
Yeah.
It'll never ever be again. You're nearly paying 400,000 for the land.
For the land, yeah. Yeah.
And the worst part, what people don't understand is if you bought here today, 3 years you're buying further inland. Might be still Morayfield.
Yeah.
It still might be Narangba.
Yeah.
But it's the outside of it.
Yeah.
Where you're closer to all the facilities.
Yeah.
I love the story. More or less no money in for a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not that long ago.
No.
Where now the prices have doubled.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for the people who missed out back then, it is different to get into the property market today.
Yeah.
But it's achievable.
Yeah.
As long as you're willing to sacrifice, whatever you need to make it happen.
Yeah.
You sit in the market, like, we're talking in the last 12 to 16 months, you secured your property in Townsville with me.
Yeah.
You're up over 100,000 just on the land.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the land's not going to get any cheaper.
No.
Every time they release 10 more lots, the price goes up 10, 15, 20,000.
Yeah.
The next time they release more, the price keeps going up. Even with the softer market, stock market crashing, the land prices is going to keep going up.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough land.
No.
How does it feel with over $400,000 worth of equity and property growth?
Fulfilling, overwhelming, and just it's all for our kids. Like it's building that future that we didn't have, and that I guess building that future that we didn't have to set up our kids for theirs. Yeah.
I do everything for my kids.
Yeah.
My kids made me who I am today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when my oldest boy, Taylor, was conceived, I left what was comfortable, and that was just out of high school.
Yeah.
I would have been conceived at 21.
Yeah.
Birthed when I was 22, and I was going nowhere.
Yeah.
I come from a family that we didn't come from an educational background. We weren't mentored.
No.
Parents same as yours.
Yeah.
Just woke up and did what they did.
Yeah.
You know, so I watch all my mates now. A lot of them are still there today doing what we're doing
same.
20, 30 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
and it's the kids give you a different reason and a different why to waking up.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm proud that you guys have broken the cycle. I've done 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And all 3 of my clients have broken the cycle. Their parents still in own homes.
Yeah. That's so good, eh?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just shows what can change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, this system needs to go bigger.
Yeah.
It needs to help more people.
Yeah.
I'd love to get it back to New Zealand. I don't know if it's possible. If it is, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of them are moving here anyway.
Yeah.
So
when I 2015 we're putting our clients up into Coomera or Pimpama.
Yeah.
And one of the clients said, "Oh, Coomera, that's up in New Zealand." So true. Though,
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So if you could talk to your past self or any other renters, what would you tell them with your knowledge today?
Just get in. Like, you just need to put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Just that, what you said before, just that little bit of it, paperwork's time consuming, but that's all you need.
Yeah.
And then they come back, you guys, number one comes back to you with the options. So don't just sit and react to our posts that we're putting up on Facebook. You got to join us. Yeah. So
find out your facts.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say it to some clients, I'm not here to push you out of the rental market. You've been there for years, if not decades.
Yeah.
I'm only here to educate you on what you can and can't do. If you want a dream home and you've got a dream position, I'll make that happen.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll show you what you can achieve.
Yeah.
And that was no different to what we did back in the end of 2018.
Yeah.
This is the house you can have at 412,000.
Yeah.
Let's get you in, which you did.
Yeah.
You've come up 288,000.
I wasn't even full time as well.
No.
Yeah, and you don't need to be. You just got to balance your money. Yeah.
You just got to know what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
And then from that there, you've done your investment property, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, great words. It's like you say, just get in.
Yeah.
It's the property market's moving. It's always moving. If you had a look at the graph, it goes like this.
Yeah.
But it goes up.
Yeah.
And while it's going up and you're paying off your mortgage, you're creating wealth.
Yeah.
What are your plans or what are your goals for your next property?
Our next one is obviously to build our forever home. Never sell. So that was one thing that you taught us, was to never sell our properties. Always you want to build that profile so that money is still coming in.
Yes.
And so to answer your question is we want to build our forever home. We would like to rent where we are at the moment. And still bring that income in. Yeah.
Nice. What does that forever home look like for you and your family?
I guess a bit bigger. Obviously, our family, we've got a newborn, so more rooms, obviously, and
nice work. First home, moved in, made some great growth. Second property up in Townsville, great investment. Land's already come up over 100,000. Your third property is going to be closer to that dream property. And I bet we had that conversation prior to the investment property is. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 to 4 properties to get that dream property. Get a property, get more equity, and then let's work towards that dream property.
It might not even be the next one. Might be next one another investment, and then go again. But we'll definitely go again. Now that we know how, it's pretty easy. You just got to get in. Your
current investment property, quick calculations, you're going to get about $10,000 back. So instead of paying that in tax, it will go towards your property.
It's just crazy.
And when you work out the percentage of that to how much tax you're paying to what you'll what you'll save is insane. And it's not educated at school.
No.
It's not even educated outside school.
No.
I love this question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in property now?
Of course. 100%. 110.
Yeah.
You just, that the knowledge that we have now is going to make us more, is going to build the future for our kids too.
Yeah.
Is build that wealth. Yeah.
If you look down in Melbourne and you've got friends or family down there, or you know anyone down there, down in Melbourne and Sydney, because their prices now are so expensive, and when we say expensive, we're talking $2-3 million plus minimum. For the kids that are coming up through there, or let's say teenagers plus, unless your parents own a home, majority of them won't get in the property market.
No.
Unless you can help your kids in 10 to 15, 20 years, they'll struggle.
Yeah.
It's hard enough now.
Yeah.
So, well done.
Yeah. And then just renting alone, prices are going up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hardest thing with renting is, as the properties go up, you've got to live further out.
Yeah.
And that's no different to if you didn't say yes 5 years ago, you'd be renting totally opposite.
Yeah.
You got any questions for me?
No, I don't have questions, but I just want to say thank you. Like, we're forever grateful for the platform that you and the knowledge that you have.
Thank you
for where we are now, and not just us, but just everyone that's gone through the system. I'm sure they're very grateful. Yeah, and the ones that are sitting there just not knowing, you got to just put your foot in the door and just
you have to.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I go, if you're renting, you know, and there's so much advice out there, and I look at it and go, yes, if you've got millions of dollars worth of equity, you play in a different field.
Yeah.
But we're helping people out of the rental market with little deposit into the property market. It's just time in the market gets you equity.
Yeah.
All we've got to do is play smarts.
Yeah.
Educate you. You make your informed decisions. And you'll be on your third property before we know it.
Yeah.
I do remember a lot of our phone calls, especially regarding the investment. I know we spoke about wanted your dream property.
Yeah.
I said, let's go down this path.
Yeah.
It's affordable. It's achievable.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you get back to work, we'll look at your position again and have another look.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just time.
Yeah. No, thank you. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And it's without people like yourself. And one thing I love about this podcast, it's real stories.
Yeah.
Of real renters with massive results.
Yeah.
It's breaking the cycle, like I said, of just people like yourself that completed my 3-step process, made an informed decision, achieved it, and now you're sitting there in the property market with nearly $500,000.
Yeah. Crazy.
From coming in with $1,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And debt.
And debt, and debt, $1,000 and debt.
Yeah.
And we helped you out with the whole lot.
Yeah.
It is, to some people on the outside, must be too good to be true.
Yeah.
But that statement alone is keeping and will keep a lot of people broke.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that, it's an old wives' tale. And so, it is semi-true, but you've got to make a decision based on you and your facts.
Yeah.
Not off your neighbours, not off your friends.
Yeah.
And I always say to people is, would you take advice from a broke person? No. You just don't.
No.
So find out your facts.
Yeah.
You know, how you said you didn't see yourself now back then, you know, with 2 to 3 properties.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I didn't see this.
Yeah.
I knew I had a business model that would help a lot of people.
Yeah.
But to sit back, and there's a lot of people who've tried to come into my space.
Yeah.
But no one's lasted the decade.
Yeah.
No one's helped hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah.
But we've now got people and clients and now friendships with people like yourself that have got true results.
Yeah.
That have got into the property market and achieved more than what they could believe they ever could achieve.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
No worries.
Thank you for driving all the way down from Morayfield. It's a gorgeous smile you've got there. Tune in, more podcasts, give us a follow, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's going to be a lot more stories of real people, massive results. Look forward to seeing you soon.